Into the Wild, a novel by Jon Krakauer, presented by Ipshita Mamoon. So 4 of the topics to go over are 1. The author, how the author is seen and whether or not he's biased. 2. Storytelling, is the author's retelling of the story trustable? 3. Content, what claims does Jon Krakauer make in the text? And 4. Conclusion, should this book remain in the AP Lang curriculum? In terms of the author, Into the Wild is written in both the first person, when the author is giving his own opinion or is giving credibility, and the third person, when the author or anyone being quoted is talking about Chris McCandless. Though the author tries to remain unbiased in the novel, it is clear that Jon Krakauer has a positive bias towards the main character. The book depicts Christopher McCandless's bravery and celebrates his courage, rather than condemning him for being a selfless or reckless individual. Jon Krakauer wrote Into the Wild to detail and explain the adventures and demise of Christopher McCandless. His tone is empathetic, as seen by the direct connections he draws between himself and McCandless. The audience can be many people, including people interested in Chris McCandless's story, explorers, and people who just enjoy reading an adventure novel. Anyone who wants to learn about Chris is a targeted audience. For the storytelling, Krakauer didn't actually know Christopher McCandless. And although he didn't know him personally, Krakauer's retelling of the story can be trusted. He identifies similarities between both him and Chris, as they both share a love for nature and high-risk activities. Jon Krakauer relates to him and is able to defend his story due to the close relation of their ethics and character, but those minor differences are what resulted in their life and death. This story is believable because the author incorporates real pieces from Chris's journal into his writing, besides just being the narrator himself. This incorporation shows real evidence of the author telling the truth, especially having the evidence come directly from what he is talking about. Jon Krakauer's purpose for writing Into the Wild was to explain exactly what happened to Chris on the trail and to find a motive for why Chris decided to do what he did. Jon Krakauer intended to motivate young readers to shed society's materialism and do what makes them happy by providing justification for Chris's actions. The major theme of the story is the allurement of nature and wilderness. It is not only specific, but also highly bewitching. The main character believes wilderness may provide him shelter from the painful modern realities of materialism. He wants to be free from the evils of society. This quote appears near the end of chapter 6. In this chapter, Krakauer includes a long and impassioned letter from McCandless to Ronald Franz. The quote is in the 3rd paragraph of the letter. The quote reads, "So many people live within unhappy circumstances and yet will not take the initiative to change their situation because they are conditioned to a life of security, conformity, and conservatism, all of which may appear to give one peace of mind, but in reality, nothing is more dangerous to the adventurous spirit within a man than a secure future. The very basic core of a man's living spirit is his passion for adventure. The joy of life comes from our encounters with new experiences, and hence there is no greater joy than to have an endlessly changing horizon, for each day to have a new and different sun." This is one of my favorite passages from the book, as I enjoy the way the words are used to describe the scene. The entire letter is distinctly different from everything else in the book that is written. I like this because it gives the moment a sense of realness, and the way that it is different from Krakauer's usual writing in the rest of the novel is interesting. It is nice to see the wording of things being changed up a little, because even though this book is meant to be nonfiction, it is nice to see a little bit of character still shine through. So, as a final observation, I do not think that students should continue to read Into the Wild in their AP Lang classes. Though an interesting story when it is really thought about, the manner in which the book is formatted is not the most enticing of reads. Personally, I did not enjoy it as much as I would have liked to. There's just something about the story that felt off to me. I feel as though there are a number of different novels that students could read in order to achieve the same purpose as Into the Wild. It will take some searching to find a book as fitting, but if there is a more interesting choice out there, students would be more inclined to actually read, understand, and enjoy it.